Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first project this year. We are starting the projects here with a very exciting project. We're going to be controlling this drone using just our hands, and the whole code is done in Python. So this actually complements really well with what you've been working on in courses and learning. So using our hands is the most easy and natural way we interact with objects in our world. So this project has huge applicability as it can be used as a type of natural human-computer interface in any system. So let's get into how this project is going to work. The resources for this project that each of you will be following can be found in the projects page on the Warwick AI projects portal. So right here. If you go into the gesture control drone project, you can find the project guide and the GitHub repository, which has all the source code you need. The guide provides a very detailed step-by-step tutorial of implementing this project on your own machine, right from installing and setting up Python um, to the dependencies that you need for this project and developing and testing out the code. It also explains the intuition behind the deep learning models that we're using, namely from Google's MediaPipe ML solutions package, and an overview of the way they are designed so that you get a good understanding of exactly how it is that all the different components of the project are coming together to give us the results at the end. The guide itself is split into two parts. What you see here is part one of the guide, at the end of which you'll have a hand pose estimation computer vision program running, including a right hand, left hand classification in real time using your machine's webcam. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of that right now, just so that you can see what you would have developed by the end of this first guide. Let's switch over to that. Okay. So as you can see, this is from my webcam feed. It's real time, and if I put my hands up, this is actually tracking 21 key landmark points on each of my hands, and it's doing it in real time. It's really quick, and the classification is really solid as well. Even if I cross my hands or move them in any way, it does get my right hand and left hand quite well and classifies them correctly. Literally all the time. It's really solid and reliable, even to like occlusions between different fingers. Yeah. So this is what we're going to be actually using to control the drone. We're going to be using each of these 21 points on each of our hands. They are actually relative 3D coordinates, and we're going to be computing vectors between different points and using which hand each of those vectors belong to map to different controls on the drone and send those control commands to the drone directly. So this is what you'll have at the end of part one. And in part two, we'll actually be doing the vector control that I just said and mapping it to control commands and sending it to the drone. During the in-person session for this project on 19th November, you'll get a chance to test out your own code if you've come up with any improvements beyond the guide or have a go at controlling the drone yourself. Even though there are no teams per se, as this is a beginner project, you're all encouraged to share your progress and talk about how you're getting on in the Discord channel for this project, which all of you should be added in. If you're not, let me know and I'll add you. Maybe even use it to collaborate on developing beyond the guides and improve or expand the control features that have been implemented. So that'll be quite a good exercise for you to go beyond this and even beyond mapping these to controlling the drone. Come up with your own applications, maybe, because this, as I said, can be used as a human computer interface for any project, like a smart home system or controlling your TV, like literally anything, your laptop, different programs. You can launch programs by swiping your hand, things like that. So yeah, this project has huge applicability, and this is our first project this year, with many more good projects to come. So I hope you're all excited. And yeah, I'm gonna open it up to Q&A. So if anyone wants to share their questions or thoughts, then they can unmute themselves and yeah, ask away.
I guess my Just for the benefit of people watching, how's that session going to work on the 19th? Could you just go through a little bit
The
more in
19th
terms of?
November, you all will be notified closer to the time as well, with plenty of reminders and announcements. We have actually booked a room in the Oculus, so it's going to be a live in-person event where there'll be laptops for you to run your code and try controlling the drone yourself. And what I'm most excited about is if we go above and beyond and implement your own features to control the drone using the hand pose estimation. We could run your code and see how well that performs as well. So each of them will have a go at the drone, time permitting, and yeah, it's more of an open session. And we'll also the main other important thing we'll be doing in that session is actually going over the code and explaining every bit of the code, even like to the same level as the guide, or if you have any questions, answering those in particular. Some of you may get stuck, in which case you can like email me, or the email is projects@warwick.ai. You can email us and one of us will get back to you, or you can contact us on Discord, or even use the project channel. So you will have support throughout the process. And if you do get stuck and needs some in-person technical support on the day, we'll help you get it up and running on your machine as well, so you know what's gone wrong and you know how to set it up. Yeah, that will be all the things that are happening in person that day.
Fantastic. And what sort of skills are people going to be learning during this project? What do you think that people are going to come out the other end of this project with?
Great. Okay. So in this project, it does require you to know like really basic Python, just like or even basic coding in any language, like if conditions and loops. It doesn't need any AI specific knowledge because, of course, this is a beginner project. But the skills you actually get from this project are like it gives you a lot of things for developing your own software applications, mainly in computer vision because it's a computer vision based project. You're going to be learning a lot of OpenCV, which is an open computer vision library, and that's what allows you to access your laptop's webcam, do some image processing. You're also going to be using Google's MediaPipe ML Solutions package, which is just a set of deep learning models that Google have trained for like doing various things like hand pose estimation, and it makes it really easy to use in Python. So you're going to learn how to use that, and just by learning how to use that, you'll be able to use any of the other models in that package as well. So yeah, you'll be able to create your own stuff from this. And there's also other mathematical libraries we're going to be using because we are doing vector and plane algebra, like linear geometry as well, to control the drone. So we're going to be using NumPy and SymPy. So you're going to be learning how to do all of this with Python and actually create practical AI applications.
Fantastic. So my last question would be, where are all the resources for this? How can people get involved?
So yeah, as I said at the start, so if you go on the Warwick AI projects portal and click on the gesture control drone project, you have part one of the guide. Part two will be releasing on Tuesday next week. We have part one of the guide and the GitHub repository. Just to give you an overview of the GitHub repository, right now it only contains part one. You have the whole source code in case the formatting on the actual guide is not quite exact because Python is an indent driven language and sometimes when you copy paste, the indentation goes off. So you can refer to the whole source code here.
Amazing. And so, are there any other questions from anyone in the
Yeah,
chat?
does anyone else have any questions? This is your moment.
Oh yeah. You mentioned that this is part one. I'm just wondering how many other parts are there?
Just two parts. So part
Okay,
one and part two. In two short guides, we'll have a drone controlled by a hand.
thank you.
So
Any other questions?
is the idea between now and Tuesday that we'll read through the part one in the guide and get all that
Yeah.
code working?
So this is just to give you a bit of time rather than to dump like a massive long guide on you. Break it up a bit. Give you time to go through the first guide, get your machine set up, install Python if you haven't, and get the required libraries set up for this project and implement it to the stage where you can get the hand pose control working. And going from that stage to the next stage is another small step. So we're trying to keep the steps small and manageable.
Cool. Makes sense. Thank you.
Do we have any more
Well,
questions?
if that's everything, then I guess we'll wrap it up and get everyone that's supposed to be over at the Python lesson over to the Python lesson so that they can
We're
catch
going to
up
keep
on the
this
end of
really
that.
short so that you don't miss your Python time.
Exactly. So if you've got any questions, feel free to DM Vishal or preferably chuck it in the gesture controlled drone chat so that everybody else can benefit as well from what you're learning.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, amazing. And then look out for part 2 next Tuesday, and then the meeting on the 19th, which is in about 16 days or so, where we'll be demoing all of your code. So catch you there.
Lovely. See you guys.
Thanks.